prepared for this morning, but I think I'm going to save it for Thursday night, and then that'll just be an extra one that you guys will get. But I do have some words to say about some of the things that they just pointed out. We had several sermons right there, so this is good practice for any of you guys that want to end up becoming public speakers, or maybe even ministers, or just any way that you might want to use your voice in the future, that God allows you to do that. We want to encourage you to do that. We're proud of you this morning for getting up here and doing that in front of all of us. And we definitely appreciate each and every one of you. One thing that stood out to me very much, and I'll just be brief here so that we can move on with our rest of our service. But one thing that stood out to me was when she was talking about the starfish. And saying, what good is that? You're not going to save them all. And he said, well, at least I can save this one. How many of us have ever seen the movie Schindler's List? Okay. Those of us that haven't seen the movie, have you at least heard the name Oskar Schindler? Okay. Oskar Schindler was this man in Germany during World War II. And he was very wealthy. And just to put a long story short, if you get a chance to see the movie, watch it. You'll never be the same after you've seen it. I saw it for the first time when I was a teenager, probably. It was my late teens. I remember seeing it with my cousin Jason. And we had a movie night marathon and over at my cousin Marlene's house. We stayed up all night watching movies. We watched some scary movies, some comedies, the whole thing. We stayed up all night watching movies. And one of them was Schindler's List that had just come out on VHS. So we watched that, and after watching that, we couldn't watch any more movies for the rest of the night because it just, we couldn't move on to a comedy after seeing the tragedy of this true story that happened in World War II to the Jews, and the sheer brutality of what they had gone through. Well, Oskar Schindler was this man who was very wealthy, and he was working for the Germans. And so he used his position of power to hire the Jews that were in his town to run his factory. And it was an essential, what they call essential workers, and so the soldiers wouldn't kill his workers. And so in order to protect and to save as many lives as he could, he made a list of all the people that he said were essential to the operations of his factory. And he saved all those lives. He spent all his fortune trying to save all these people, and many of them actually ended up outliving him. At the end of the movie, one of the most memorable scenes is it shows the survivors walking away from the camp out in the field, and as the color slowly fades from black and white into full color, you realize that it's the surviving Schindler Jews at the time of filming. And so it showed the actors, and then it showed the real life survivors. And the final scene right before that of the movie with Liam Neeson playing Oskar Schindler, the war is over, and he's gathered with the survivors, and they're getting ready to leave. And they come to him, and they give him this golden ring that they had taken all their personal jewelry, all their personal treasures, and molded it into a golden ring to give to him, because he had sacrificed all his treasures in order to save their lives. As they gave him that ring, he looked at it and he realized they were giving that to him so that he could escape from the soldiers that were still there, that would be surely after him with a death sentence for saving the Jews. And so as he held that ring in his hand, he realized how valuable that was, how much financially it was worth. And he started to realize, you gave me this gold. This gold could have saved, 5, 6 more people, 10 more people? And he looked at his car that he still had, and he said, for this car, I could have saved a couple more people. He looked at his watch and he said, I could have saved one more with this, and I didn't. And his words were, I could have done more, and I didn't. While these people were looking up to him for saving their lives, he was looking at it from the perspective, I could have done more. Jesus calls us to be his followers. He calls us to do his work while we're here on this earth. He calls us to work the harvests of his fields, to do what we can, when we can, however we can. Most of us will never be famous, will never be on TV, will never be the President of the United States, will never be some big government world leader. We may always live our lives just as some person out in the country, out in the middle of Washington or Noble County, but that's all right. God puts us here for a reason. He may give us a huge voice to where we go out into the world and witness to millions and millions and millions of people, like Billy Graham. Or he may use us here in our school, in our neighborhood, at our place of work, just down the street. But when we do, we are working the field where he has placed us for the time and for the purpose that he has placed us there. And so, as Mr. Schindler was crying and saying, why didn't I do more? I could have saved so many more. One gentleman comes up to him and hugs him and he says, there's this old proverb that says, he who saves one saves the world entire. And that story of the starfish reminded me of that. If he who saves one person saves the entire world. He who witnesses to one witnesses to the entire world. He who does the work of God here in the Ohio Valley in front of a group of 2, 3, 4 people does it as if he was doing it in this huge stadium in front of the entire world. So this holiday season, as you go out from this holiday season into the rest of the year, I want you to keep in mind that God has called you here to do his work, whatever it may be. It may be a big thing in the world. It may be a little thing in your own eyes, or in the eyes of your peers, in the eyes of the world around you. But in God's eyes, if you do his work, however small or great it may be, you are a hero in his eyes. You are doing his work in his eyes. And you are a hero in my eyes. So this morning, as we go forward, I want us to think about how much God loves us, how much he loves the rest of us in the world, and how he calls each of us to be part of his family. And if we can do our small part, however small or great it may be, then truly we may see peace on earth as we look forward to seeing peace together in heaven.
Hey everybody, Merry Christmas from the Highland Ridge Community Church at 2200 Highland Ridge Road, Lowell, Ohio 45744. If you're looking for a home church, we are here every Sunday morning at 9 o'clock a.m. This year we are having a special Christmas candlelight service on Thursday, December 23rd at 7 o'clock p.m. So come on out to the church. We are here. If you're tired of being cooped up from all the shutdowns and the lockdowns and everything going on in our society today, you're looking for a little bit of hope in life, you're looking for some encouragement, some way to get back in contact with your community, with your neighbors, your friends, your family, come on out to Highland Ridge Community Church for our Christmas candlelight service. Once again, that's Thursday, December 23rd, 2021 at 7 o'clock p.m. And we are here year-round as well. On every Sunday morning, we meet here at the church at 9 o'clock a.m. And if you'd like to follow us online, you can just search your social media, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, or whatever. You can find us at Pastor Kevin HRCC. That's Pastor Kevin HRCC. Just search for that keyword, and you'll find us. We do post our messages online each week, and on our Facebook page, Words of Life with Pastor Kevin, we do have some words of encouragement, Bible verses, and that sort of thing that we update on there as well. So anyway, thanks for your interest in the church. We'd love to see you here. If you don't have a church home this year, come on out and celebrate Christ's birth with us. Merry Christmas, everybody.